Welcome to the Market Me podcast with your host, Mike Mall. Each episode of Market Me deconstructs real campaigns for actual businesses to improve their marketing efforts. Mike is the founder of Social Media House and a digital marketing consultant who teaches marketing strategy to executives and their teams from small business to Fortune 500 companies. Let's get started.
All right, on this episode, we're speaking with Dan Iannacito. I'm hoping I got that right. Thanks so much for joining me, man.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, so we were just having a little pre-show chat, and I wanted you to save it. Tell me about your journey into entrepreneurship, because it's cool.
Yeah, so I was telling you before, Mike, that I was working as a financial advisor at a big bank in one of the big banks in Toronto, in Canada, anyways, CIBC, and it's good reputable company. Parents grew up. I grew up in a 9-to-5 household. You work 9 to 5. You save your money. You get married. You start a family, and then you get that pension at 55, and life starts then. So I grew up with that mentality. Not that it's wrong. I just thought that was the only way to live. And I started working as a financial advisor at CIBC. Very structured 9 to 5. Micromanaged, very stressful job. And I thought to myself, okay, at the time I was 23. So I was like, there's got to be something else here. But I didn't know what. So I was telling you, I just, took off with some buddies. We went backpacking for about 3 weeks to Europe. Amazing trip. And I was in Ibiza, Spain. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. A little bit messed up. We were on a balcony with some buddies and some friends from all over the world, having just great conversation, talking about what it is that I do, what they do, and everybody who I was speaking with was telling me, I'm here for the summer. I'm gonna go back whenever the weather gets colder. And I was like, that's unreal. What do you mean? I'm gonna go back. I run my own business, and my business is remote, and I can work from anywhere in the world. And it was 3, 4, 5 people all saying the same thing. And I was like, how is that possible? Right. And this was, like I said, 2016. So, 4 years ago. So they were telling me that I'm here for the summer. And I was like, yeah, I've got 3 weeks vacation, and tomorrow is my last day of the 3 weeks. And then I have to work for another year. And so then we went home and kind of, repositioned my whole kind of cliche, but my life. I thought about it. I was like, hey, so I know where this 9 to 5 takes me, but now that I'm 23, younger, now I can take some more risks. Let's see if I can start my own business, something that I've always wanted to do, but had no idea where to start. And I got started. That's where I kind of started my entrepreneurial path. And in the beginning, I started working with mortgage professionals, just kind of helping them generate qualified clients using digital marketing, paid advertising, which obviously you're very familiar with, Facebook, Instagram. And so doing that for about 2 years, actually got pretty good at it. I started to get a ton of clients, started to live that remote life where now I can, head over to, I ended up in 1 year, I went to California, I went to Argentina, Brazil. I went to Montreal, I went to Miami, places that I've always wanted to go with my girlfriend. And, life was awesome. I mean, it's very stressful in a different way because there's way more responsibility, but the reward is huge. And so, up until a year ago, I built out a process that was working so well for mortgage professionals that I actually built an online course. And I said, hey, listen, for those mortgage professionals maybe just starting out who want to learn digital marketing, here's the step-by-step process. Follow my system, and I packaged together a course. And so that worked really well. That was about a year of selling that online course that was doing so well. And then I said, hey, that works. Now let's see if I can teach other people how to actually build an online course themselves, since I know how to do that and it's already worked for me. And so that's where I kind of am now. So I'm teaching, individuals, coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, how to really build online courses to scale their business, like yourself, live in Mexico, still run a business and have clients and do what they love.
Yeah, man, that's great. And is there a particular type of person you work with, or industry or niche, or it's kind of anybody that has enough knowledge to launch a course? How do you frame that?
Well, you've definitely got to have some sort of experience or some knowledge in the industry. So there's a common belief that, for example, Udemy is a great platform, but anyone can create a course on Udemy. So really, my niche are individuals who are working one-on-one, done for you, who have already a proven system, who've got results, who have success, but can't scale. They've got, let's say like 15 clients a month, but that's their capacity. There's no way to really scale it. So that's kind of my niche. Say, hey, listen, you've got the proven system here. Put your knowledge into an online course, and now you've got no boundaries. You're more flexible. You can kind of, scale that business.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. One hesitation I've always had with the online course thing is like, it's never as impactful as if I'm delivering it. And I've often wondered, like, I've started thinking about it a lot lately because, again, it's like if you're always trading time for money, then at some point there's a finite amount of that, and then that's it, right? Whereas a program or software or like those types of things can sell and can kind of grow themselves, which is really cool. How do you think about like making that course super impactful? Do you have any like kind of steps or a process to make sure what's being delivered there is like of super high quality?
For sure. So the first thing that I look at is the different learning abilities of people. So, when you think of online course, you think of just a video, you think of some sort of like let's just say a video, and you have to follow along. What I provide as well is for some people that doesn't jive. They want more support. So, I'll have things like weekly calls. So, we also have our private Facebook group. So for example, if somebody has a question about anything, like week 2, module 3, how to set up your Facebook campaign. If somebody has a question, they can ask me in the Facebook group. If somebody wants to ask me over the phone, they'll hop on one of our weekly Q&A calls and they can ask me directly. And maybe that's how they learn better versus a step-by-step video. So I'm trying to cater it to multiple learning styles and have that support there. But also, what I really focus on is a lot of online courses. There are many online courses that are really good. Some that are very general. They just cover like the top. But what I focus on is the actual detail and that's where the impact is. So I focus on literally click by click. You click here, you click there, you click here to set up your Facebook campaign. It's not like just a skim of, you're just going to set up your Facebook campaign. Here are this is how you find your audiences. No, this is how you actually find your audiences. You go into audience insights. You look at, what your client avatar, what your audience enjoys. Are they coffee drinkers? What's their favorite book? Let's go in and let's find what your audience actually likes so we can target the right audience so you're not wasting money on ads. So I think it's the in-depth of the instruction, the content. That's really what I pay attention to, because I think that's what people need. There's one thing to say you're step by step, and there's another thing to actually be step by step. So it takes a while for sure to produce that content, but once it's produced, people are grateful for it because you don't miss a step.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I've actually been having this debate with a number of people lately because, you see some of the way that courses are promoted is, we've put together the best 80 hours of this material to how to use Instagram. And you're like, I don't know about watching 80 hours, if anything. Do you so obviously you've seen people and people have gone through your program and produced courses. How long would you say on average is like a good course? I mean, obviously it's subjective to the material, but just as a ballpark.
Yeah. So like you said, right, it definitely varies. If you're teaching somebody how to lose weight, lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, like you said, I don't know about that. I really don't know. If you're telling somebody, I'll help you lose 20 pounds in 5 weeks and keep it off forever, that's a little bit of a different value add there. Now my program is like that online course. That's the name of the program. It's 6 weeks, but the idea is you don't start selling and getting clients at 6 weeks. You actually start selling and getting clients in the second week, because we want speed, right? You want to really start getting results, because once you get results, that's really when you get motivated to actually do the rest of the work. So before you actually dive into your online course and start going to the content and recording and making all that, because that's time consuming, right? That takes a lot of time. I actually, show my students, I say, hey, listen, let's start getting clients, let's start getting on the phone, and let's start selling it before you even build out your course. Because now that somebody's paid you, and actually you've gotten credit card information and you've swiped it and you've gotten a payment, now you've got to move your ass, because that person's invested and you've got to already get going on your course. So I basically teach how to structure your first week and have that first week set up of your online course. And then let's just worry about getting clients. Once you get 5-6 clients, let's get going and build 2, week 3, 4, 5. So I would say like a good course, honestly, Mike, is, to answer your question, 3 to 4 weeks.
And that's for going through kind of the steps. And then from like the recorded material standpoint, like a couple hours worth of material broken up into the different modules, give or take.
Yeah, honestly, like it's really not that difficult. Like, so I use a platform. A platform, slipping my mind right now because I just switched it. But I use a video recording software. I've actually got to remember the name of it. But and I just have PowerPoint slides, and I literally go through the PowerPoint slides as I'm recording my screen, and I'm just talking and going through the PowerPoint slides. It's pretty. And then, what I'm doing is, if I need to explain something, I'll literally minimize the PowerPoint presentation. I'll go into Facebook and I'll show how to build out the campaign, and I'll show how to actually use LinkedIn and how to target somebody on LinkedIn. Like, it's pretty, like, it's not difficult. I think a lot of people think it's time consuming if you don't have a plan, like, hey, week tomorrow and the next day I'm working on just one 45-minute video. Done. That's done. All right, that's delivered. Let's go. Maybe, like, you've got to have some sort of structured plan. Every 2-3 days you're building a module out, and then after a month you've got your whole program built. But it's one thing to have a plan, is one thing to actually do it. So you've got to have like that end goal, I guess.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. So, for somebody who is hearing this, who's, either maybe a consultant, a freelancer, or an entrepreneur of some sort, who wants to like package their knowledge up and figure out, is what I deliver feasible as a course? How would you go about like starting to like map that process in your head? How would you recommend to somebody who's like wondering if they should do it? How do you do you have any like exercises or any thought process with that?
Yeah, like if I was looking to, I don't know if an online course would work for me. I like the idea that I get to work from anywhere. There's no boundaries. I can scale my business. I can, work with anybody in the world. I don't know. What I would do is look at my own business and say, do I have clients? Okay, number one, yes, I have clients. All right, how did I get those clients? Well, I got on the phone and I called them, or I Googled their business and I gave them a call, or I emailed, or like, what is the process to how you acquired that client, number one? And then let's say you're a chiropractor and you have you want to create an online course as a chiropractor, for example. What is the process of, from start to finish, of how to really put someone through rehab on their back? Or if you're a real estate agent who's been really successful in the industry, what is the process from acquiring a client, or to acquire a client? What is that step-by-step process? How did I myself do it? And it's literally as easy as mapping it out on paper. So it's like, I call it a brain dump. I literally just time myself 60 seconds and I write everything I know about a specific concept. So how to acquire a client from real estate? Well, I'll go through, I'll go on Facebook, I'll go through my connections, I'll go look at my network, I'll go, I'll message everybody who I basically know. I'll reach out to them via email, and I basically, after 60 seconds, stop it. All right. All of that is essentially week one. Done. It's just in a scrambled up, ugly version, scrappy version, but that's your week one. Now it's just a matter of organizing it.
Cool. And then kind of the same thing, like what would be my next step? Jumble that. Now you got week 2.
That's the framework. It's like, I'm really good at Facebook ads. Okay, so what's the beginning? Well, you got to create a business manager account. You've got to set up your business. You've got to put in your credit card info. You've got to create the campaign. Like, it's just, you write everything from your brain into, I do it in a brain dump of 60 seconds, but maybe you can do it in an hour or 2 hours, whatever. Write everything you know about a specific concept, and then that's really your content for your online course. You just got to throw it in the computer.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. That's neat. And so how long have you been kind of working on this program? Like, are you, is this your kind of the main thing you're working on?
Yeah, exactly. So this is my biggest project right now. It's taken me a while just because I wanted to obviously perfect my other businesses and my other processes, which are also online courses. So before I can go and teach somebody about online courses, I want to make sure that I've had success. So I've had success. It's been going really well. So now I'm looking at that and saying, okay, like, what is that success? Like, how did I get that success? And so I've mapped it all out of, literally onto paper, and now it's onto a platform I use, Kajabi. And yeah, I put it into a 5-week program. And right now I'm just finishing up the details of week 5, actually. It's a retargeting campaign week for Facebook ads. So it's exciting. It's taken me like quite a long time, but I love it. So I'm not complaining.
Love it. Hey, retargeting is probably my favorite and most cost-effective way to market.
For real. It's, what? Retargeting is actually the best. I love it. Like, I love teaching it. I love actually doing it because it's easier. It's warm clients.
Yeah, exactly. And so the courses that you have now are the mortgage one?
So yeah, it's called the Pipeline Accelerator. So it teaches mortgage professionals how to actually acquire qualified clients using digital marketing. And then I've got that online course, which is an online course teaching how to create online courses. So if you're like I said, if you're a consultant and you've got too many clients, you can't scale, you want to start honestly traveling, because I think maybe 10 years ago it was kind of like a made up thing. Oh yeah, it must be nice to travel the world and work. Like, it's real. It's real. You're doing it right now. I've done it. I'm going to continue doing it when this whole COVID situation is over. But if that's the lifestyle you want to have a successful business, and you want to basically be passionate and love what you're doing, that's the way to go. And so, yeah, that's my biggest project right now, that online course. So
love it. And do you think, I've been having a lot of conversations with consultants and other agency owners and stuff, and I think there's a general consensus that this type of programming as an extension of your business, or even to simplify and take some of the work out of your hands. Like, I think standalone courses, they can work and they have been successful, but I think a lot of times having that personalized training, the Facebook group, the weekly call stuff, I think as like a complement to that, I think is really the future of these businesses, where, most of your time is spent building other things and then maintaining the customers that are going through the process and making sure that they have everything they need, that they're going to leave with this as a successful process. I think it's like there is some unscalable parts, but I think scaling that 90%, I think, is really going to be the future of a lot of this digital working.
For sure. And it's not something that everybody has to do, right? But if you look at it from an entrepreneurial mindset, it's like, maybe you just genuinely enjoy consulting the people one-on-one, and you like to have your 7-8 clients. But like you said, having that add-on, somebody says, hey, listen, like, I don't want to I don't want to be rude, but I don't want to meet with you every single week or have our phone calls. I just want to kind of do it on my own. Well, hey, listen, I've got this package here. Literally everything that we would do face-to-face or on the phone is in this package. Go ahead. And it adds that, maybe you make 3-4 sales a month. That's an extra $2,000-$3,000 a month that you never had, right? So I totally agree. Like, even to extend on that, like this mortgage course, what actually ended up happening was brokerage owners, mortgage brokerage owners would come to me and, they say, hey, I want to work one-on-one with you. And we would work one-on-one for about, I don't know, maybe like 6 months, but they never heard of the Pipeline Accelerator. And then, I just kind of mentioned it, and they would say, hey, listen, this Pipeline Accelerator, I want to use that to train my younger or my newer brokers so they can right out of the gate understand how to use digital marketing to grow their mortgage business. So it's like you're saying, it's just like an addition, which helps you to just kind of spread out your services and grow your brand.
Yeah, I love that. What would you say? So as you've kind of you've seen programs grow, you've grown some of your own programs. If I'm like, okay, you know what? Really like how this is going. I've got my little bit of one-on-one stuff, but this is the future for me. What's your opinion or like your thought process on the most effective way to market this stuff? Because I know there's the obvious like Facebook ads and referrals and word of mouth. There's a lot of different options, but like, do you have something where you think that's should be your baseline for marketing for this type of stuff?
You're the expert. I was hoping you were going to tell me.
Yeah,
honestly, go ahead.
No, the couple things I like is, finding people that have complementary products and services to you and then giving them like affiliate revenue off of referrals, I think is really good. I think Facebook ads are great, but like they're not easy. And depending on the product you have, finding that audience in a really like efficient way without blowing through thousands of dollars can be a really big challenge. So for me, a couple of things, my opinion on this is start building it up, create an affiliate / referral program within it. Kajabi and Teachable and all these programs have that stuff built in, and then find people with a bigger audience and a bigger list than you that you don't compete with, and kind of siphon a little bit of their attention. And then as you build your stuff up, you can start, moving other people into their ecosystem. And then with the affiliate stuff, everyone's, getting compensated. So I really like that right now.
For sure. And I've done a couple, I call them JVs, but I love them because you're borrowing someone's list who's not necessarily, like you said, they're not your competition, but they're part of your audience, part of your niche, and you're just kind of piggybacking, saying, hey, listen, like I'll give you X percent, and let's do it. So I think it's great. I think Facebook ads, you like 10 years ago, it was a totally different ball game. Way easier. It's way more competitive now. If you don't know what you're doing, you can literally burn cash. And so like I'm in the digital marketing space, but I'll never recommend someone to like run ads unless they've got a X amount of budget, and unless they know that, listen, you've got to be okay with losing probably your investment over the next like 3 months, 4 months, maybe. You've got to be okay with having a loss and get the proper education on it before you jump into paid advertising, for sure.
Yeah. The other thing I'm working on right now, I'm actually doing it for myself, is it's super unscalable, but the efficiency is amazing. So I'm working on a Facebook group. It's just a free group where I'm going to like feed content into it, but also help the people in the group with the content. So like, hey, I'm going to do an audit of somebody's website this week. Who wants it? And let the group be like, oh, I want it. And then record it and feed it back into the group. So you're giving like feedback and help inside the group. But I'm going to build that group. I'm experimenting with this, but like LinkedIn Sales Navigator to figure out the exact people that I want based on the parameters that LinkedIn knows about people. I'm inviting them with an automated message, but like not asking them anything, just asking to connect because we've got mutual connections, which it's not my favorite. Like you can tell those messages are automated, but after they connect with me, I'm actually going to record a video in the LinkedIn app for the person, telling them I think they would really get a lot out of this group, and then try and funnel people over. But I'm doing automated reach out and then manual one-on-one LinkedIn videos to people right in the platform, because LinkedIn just released it. You can now record videos right in LinkedIn messages, which is cool.
From mobile?
Yeah.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
I actually have a very similar process to you, and I believe that. I think it's very simple to know. It's easy to know when someone's sending you an automated message. What are your thoughts on the strategy of like just sending somebody a message, but not actually asking for anything? Just saying, "Hey, listen, I put together this free resource, free audit for LinkedIn messaging." Like, have you tested that with any of your services, or like what are your thoughts on that?
I believe in it all the way. So it's like if there's no ask, so I think where a lot of people go wrong is they reach out and they're like, oh, hey, I made this amazing thing. Go check it out. It lands on a landing page. It's like, hey, give me your email. I'll give you this thing. Like they didn't ask for the thing. Now, if you're running a Facebook ad that's like, do you want this? Come and get it. Like you can ask for an email on a Facebook ad because like I found it and then there was intent because I went to go to the next step. To me in LinkedIn, sending someone to a landing page where they can get whatever it is that you're offering with no email, with no opt-in, with no bullshit, super into that. Because then you can retarget them anyway, right? Like you can pixel them and send, or with the YouTube stuff or Instagram and Facebook ads, you can retarget them. But I love it, especially if it's like a training or a 5-minute, 10-minute training that's really relevant to them, they can get impact out of. It'll probably have them asking for more right away. But yeah, I like it as long as you don't ask for an email at the front.
For sure. I totally agree with you. I think it might take more time, but I mean, the ROI on that time is a lot higher than just blasting out a bunch of automated messages and asking, hey, let's hop on a phone call, like this long message, hey, like you got some time to chat. Like, I think right now we're entering this is my opinion. Maybe it's been like this, but I think we're entering a space where like, I say it's like the ratio of giving to taking is like 5 to 1, like 3 to 1. Here, take this, free video, take this free ebook, take this free whatever. By the way, if you want to join my Facebook group, here it is. Let's say after the third piece of free value that you've given, I guarantee you they're going to jump into your Facebook group and they're going to see, wow, shit, this guy's an expert. I wouldn't mind grabbing his program for whatever. That's the way I look at it, I think.
Yeah, I believe in that all the way. And it's funny, there's a lot of people that pay lip service to it, and then you get their messages and you're like, it's funny. I have this like saved message in my notepad that says, I'm sorry, I don't do business with people that pitch me on the first note with a thumbs down. And so whenever people send me those on LinkedIn, I type it out and then I like screenshot it and post it on my Instagram stories and people get a kick out of it. Actually, the guy he responded today. He's like, okay, well, thanks for getting back to me then. I'm like, all right. The other girl didn't say anything back, but I do have a canned message that I send back out to people. It's like, come on, what do you mean jump on a strategy? I don't have time for this crap. I think people have like such a lack of respect for other people's time. It's like, it's so strange that you can just assume and you see it like, you're like, oh, you literally didn't research anything that my company does, but I should jump on a call with you? Are you crazy? Like it's
yeah. I agree, man. It's like, it's laziness. Like, and to be honest, what I did, and you can try it out too, is I've actually put like a little star, like a little like emoticon star right before my first name, because it's like a little black little icon, and you'll see it on LinkedIn. We'll connect later. But basically, when somebody sends me an automated message, it includes that star. So you wouldn't send me a star before my name, right? So I know right off the bat if this is an automated message or not. And 90% of the messages are automated. 90%.
That's so
and I'll
funny.
respond and I'll be like, do you know why there's a star before my name? Question mark. They're like, no. I'm like, because I'll know if you actually took the time to type out your message or if you just click the LinkedIn helper and it just spits out messages.
I'm doing that tonight. I love that.
But yeah, free value. I don't know. Free value, it takes more time, but it's scalable. Like if you're just honestly genuine, hey, I saw, in 2002, I saw you graduated from Simon Fraser University. Wow, I went there for a semester. Awesome. Like, hey, by the way, like here's a free resource. I help people like you with your, get clients. Check it out if you've got some time. Hope you and your family are doing well during these crazy times. No ask.
Yeah.
Ask them.
And I think like, it's like it's like keyboard warriors on Twitter. I think there's this like thing where if you're not in person, you can just like feel like you can act a certain way. It's like if I walked up to you at like a networking event and I like grabbed my business card and like pushed it against your chest and I'm like, digital marketing now, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who are you? Like that's what it feels like. But
Yeah,
because
like,
it's online, people have this like, oh, it's okay, I can just say whatever I like.
yeah, you hide behind the screen. So that's why I love video, because I think when you're using video and you're recording yourself and you're talking, you're actually making yourself accountable. So it's like, yeah, like I've got this amazing resource, or yeah, I'm running this webinar next week. You just made a commitment to yourself. You got to do it now. And so people see what you're made out of.
Yeah.
So that's kind of I wanted to hear like your take on just the free value and whatnot. So I'm glad that you're doing that. So
I believe in it all the way. So what else, what other, do you have any other kind of like things to think about, or like little like, you know, nuggets of helpful information for those who are, you know, hearing this and they're like, maybe there is a way for what I'm doing to have an online course or a program component to it. Anything to like, any takeaways, anything to think about that someone thinking about this would be able to use?
if you're thinking about creating an online course, definitely make sure that you've got, like I mentioned earlier, success, and you've got a proven process of your, you know, one-to-one done for you business, whatever it is. You can't just skip that process of like learning the business, learning the process, and getting a success from your clients. You can't skip that. You can't just jump into an online course and say, yeah, I'm an expert in Facebook ads, when you've got no proof. Like you've got to have some sort of proof. And I think like I mentioned, like platforms like Udemy and stuff, they're great, but it's just anybody can go there and create some sort of course, how to 10x your income in 30 days with this 30-minute video. Like, it's just like you gotta have a proven track record, and like don't be afraid to actually dive into it, and really, like, because creating an online course can be a daunting task. It sounds daunting, like it takes a shit ton of time. It's, you know, it could be very demotivating. What I would suggest is, if you're ready to actually start an online course, go out, map out your actual course into weeks. Chunk it out into weeks. Let's say, you know, it takes me 4 weeks to set up a Facebook campaign for someone. Let's just say, as an example, it's really long, but let's just say 4 weeks. Okay, so what do I need to do to set up that Facebook campaign? Map it out on literally a piece of paper, and try selling the concept first before you jump into doing the work. Because if you jump into doing the work and then you try making sales, and if you find that the marketplace doesn't actually need this shit, you just spend all those hours and all that time creating an online course. Now you're gonna be like, okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this again. Versus if you just, in the beginning, you're more flexible. It's like, all right, let me try this niche, this message, this value prop. All right, that didn't work. They didn't like the message. Let me try a different message. All of a sudden you make 3-4 sales. Okay, boom, I've got my proven process. Let's get into creating the actual online course.
Love it. Makes a ton of sense. Well, I'll link all your stuff up in the show notes, but where's the best place to find you?
LinkedIn and and Instagram. It's a long last name, as I told you earlier, Iannacito Enterprises, but it'll be better if you link it. Nobody will be able to spell it. So.
Well, I'm just glad that I didn't screw up the pronunciation. That's all I'll say.
All good. All right,
brother, man. Thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Mike, and enjoy the sun.
Will do.
Cheers, man.